Hi, my name is Rayanne, and I've been coming here to see Dr. Osborn for a couple months now, and I've had some really dramatic results, and I just wanted to share them with you. Number one, I didn't come here for any particular problems with pain, although I had pain everywhere. But I just wanted a general good approach to life and getting fit. And so, in the chiropractic adjustments, since starting those and being here, my positional vertigo is gone. My I'm down one pill, so I'm getting rid of one prescription that I used to take all the time. And I haven't had to take it for 2 weeks now, so I'm really supercharged about that. I'm feeling fit. I'm feeling supported. I just love coming here. It's like a pure joy to come into this building and see other people on their journeys and get to talk to them. And I just love being here, and I think you ought to give it a try.
Hi, I'm Albert. I'm 20 years old. In 2014, I was in a car crash a week after my graduation. So the car I was in, it hit two trees and flipped, and I was the only one in the back seat, so I had the most damage. I ended up being in a wheelchair, and they told me the first few weeks there, they told me that there's only 10% chance that I might get out of my chair, but I didn't accept that. So my cousin Mickey, she brought me here. When she first told me about it, I wasn't sure since being to different hospitals and different physical therapy places and hearing the same thing all the time that I'm so stiff that I don't know what's gonna happen. To come to this place that's so positive was just really refreshing to me. And I wasn't used to it at first, and I grew to be comfortable here, and I've seen instant results. And I'm very happy I made the choice of coming here. So my cousin Mickey, she brought me here. When she first told me about it, I wasn't sure since being to different hospitals and different physical therapy places and hearing the same thing all the time that I'm so stiff that I don't know what's gonna happen. To come to this place that's so positive was just really refreshing to me. And I wasn't used to it at first, and I grew to be comfortable here, and I've seen instant results. And I'm very happy I made the choice of coming here. Coming in here, I had this awful back pain. It was so stiff, and my back hasn't been looked in 2 years. And coming here after the first day of getting adjusted, that pain automatically started to go away. And my body, I was able to move my body more of how I should. Not only did I know the results, people know the results immediately. Seeing me how I moved, they instantly knew that something was changed. So one of the first things I noticed is that my legs were so relaxed. I would always have spasms, so that would always be a huge block of me getting ever recovering. And after coming here, I noticed my legs got calmer. And as that came, I finally got to stand on my 2 feet after 2 years of being stuck in a wheelchair. And I can't even try to explain the feeling of how that was.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. There we go.
Smiles.
Good?
Yep.
All right, so stand up. Up. There we go. And down a little bit. And go down a little bit. And up. You got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. You got this thing. Use it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You think you can keep going? 11, 12, yeah, baby. 13, 14, 15. You got it. There's 16. All right, there we go. There we go. So what's our record?
16?
16.
I was going to go for 20.
I know you were.
Next time you will.
Hey. Let's scoot you back a little bit. Got this? Hey. Congratulations. Man.
Thank you. That felt amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's been a month since I've been here now. And yesterday was the first time I stood on my feet, and I did 16 squats. And now it's day 2, and I came here and got adjusted, and now I did 50. And it's just crazy because before I came here, I was worried that I don't know how I'm going to recover because it's been so long. It's only been 2 years since I've been in a wheelchair, but it feels like 5 to me. And now I barely feel like I'm getting results, that I'm going to be okay. Now I can finally believe that I can be okay and say it like I mean it. So going on from here, I feel that I'm going to accomplish my goal of walking. And if anyone have doubts, I can be a walking example, because I came from the lowest point in my life. This is the lowest point of my life. I didn't know what to do after I got in this chair. I felt like my life was passing me by, watching everyone else as they go to college, and I'm just being stuck in this chair. And now that I finally see results, I'm glad that I came here and I didn't allow anyone to tell me where I'm going to be for the rest of my life, because I'm not going to be in this chair for the rest of my life. And since I've been here, I've been nothing but have support, and I believe that they believe I'm going to walk again too.
Okay, so tell me what brought you to Dr. Osborn.
When I got to the point I couldn't even get out of a car from the sitting position to a standing position without being in tears, that's what did it. I decided I had to do something, and a neighbor had told me about Dr. Osborn, so I decided to come here and give it a try. I wasn't sure. So I was evaluated, and one of the doctors here at the time surprised me by saying, "I don't know, Angela, how it is that you're actually walking. You really shouldn't be walking according to how your x-rays look." And that shocked me. I had no idea. And that's because I had 2 major injuries, one on top of the other, that I really didn't know the effects of. First time, I was about 17 years old, and a physical education teacher at my high school pushed me off a diving board because I did not conform. She had her hand out like this, and all the girls in the class had to bend backwards over her arm into the water, like just do a back dive. I mean, I was afraid of heights, number 1. Number 2, I had never done a back dive. Number 3, everybody was bending over her arm like it was nothing, and I knew I couldn't do that because I've never been able to bend that way my whole life. So she thought I was being belligerent, so she took her hand like this and put it on my chest and pushed me right off the board, and I flew. I remember flying. I was off that board so fast, and then when I landed on the water, it's like hitting cement. And unknown to me at the time, when you do that, your neck goes forward like this. And I didn't know that had happened to me. So I bounced back up, went over to the side. I felt weird, really weird. And I thought it's just because I went flying. I got out, nobody helped me. Nobody said anything to me. I got into the showers and went to class. And that was basically it. I told my mom, "Oh, by the way, I had this accident." And I told her a little bit about it, and she said, "Well, we better take you to the doctor." And then the doctor found I had scoliosis, and that I had had it for a very, very long time. They recommended Hansen's rods, which is some type of surgery that I'm not completely familiar with, but they insert rods down your spine to straighten out your spine. But it just didn't seem to me that that would be anything that I would want to do. So my mom said no immediately. I was glad she did. Mm-hmm. And then I went through my 20s and into my 30s, feeling a little strange all the way through, but I didn't really know why, and I didn't connect it with that. So when I was 41, I had a head-on auto collision, and I was whiplashed. So I went to a chiropractor who told me that it was a new whiplash on top of an old whiplash. And I said, "You must have my x-rays mixed up with someone else." And she said, "No, it's yours. Your x-rays, and you had been injured previously when you were 17. And I said, what was happening when I was 17? I couldn't place it at all. And then I put 2 and 2 together. And then the whiplash on top of the old whiplash, and not tractioning properly because I was in so much pain, then I had a fusion. So one of my neck bones, I can't remember which ones they are fused right now. And so it's like having to live with a whole new normal. So at this stage now, I've been with Dr. Osborn, I think this is beginning my 6th year here.
Wow.
And I feel better than ever. I'm not in pain. I have made a lot of physical corrections with all the adjustments. I follow the 5 essentials as closely as I can.
Yep.
I'm a stickler for the quality of food that I eat. And that has really helped me. It's all really helped me.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel so much better. And now I'm horseback riding again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I want to continue doing that.
So how long did it take you to be able to get on a horse again?
The courage to get back riding again, because I stopped riding when I was 16.
Oh wow.
And because I rode from the ages of 10 to 16.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been back on until 3 years ago, and now I'm on more often.
Oh.
But I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, so it's taken, to feel secure physically,
Yeah.
it's taken about 5.5 years, I'd say.
Oh wow.
5.5 years. And it's like learning it all over again when you're so much older and you're doing that again. It's different. It feels really high after a while. The ground's far away and you're really high, but then you think about it and the next time you get on, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
And then you get more relaxed and you get stronger each time.
Yeah.
And old things come back to you, things that you used to do, you remember them again.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah.
So is there any other, besides like horseback riding, is there any other goals that you have set for yourself, or anything else that you'd like to accomplish now that your health is restored, or anything that comes to mind?
Just regular everyday functioning,
Yeah.
because that was hard for me.
Right.
Just everyday energy. My energy got really low because pain takes it out of you.
Yeah.
It really drains you.
Yeah.
And so the fact that there's so much less pain. I mean, after a while, if I push too hard, the pain comes.
Yeah.
And I know that that's time to rest. And I don't really feel guilty about that at all,
Right.
because I have to. But then the strength comes, the energy. I'm getting stronger all the time. I'm getting more energy all the time, more endurance. I don't take naps during the day anymore.
Oh,
I used to do that.
awesome.
My sleep has improved. It's not great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's improved, and now I can get up early in the morning and have a full day in daylight hours, and really get things accomplished more. That's what I want to do. Is I want to accomplish more. I want to just keep working on more energy and more strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's awesome that you're saying that, like now, this is the most energy that you've had, and that you can actually go through a day without taking naps.
Yes.
Because you see, when our age starts increasing, the energy levels start increasing in modern society out there. But it's awesome that you're having the adverse effect.
Yeah, because I had a lot of decrease in my energy.
Yeah.
And it just was, I wasn't sleeping right. You
Yeah.
can't survive on 1 to 3 hours of sleep a night.
No.
And that's what I was doing in some cases. And then even that, once in a while, I would sleep all the way through, but then I'd go all the way through into the next day,
Yeah.
and I'd wind up sleeping too much. And then I'd get to the point I couldn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
Even if I tried, it was awful.
Yeah.
So that's very, very important. You have to do that. That keeps you young. I think it keeps you very young.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping in
I think sleeping properly.
properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I think that keeps you young, and I think it just regulates your whole system.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing your story with me.
Thank you for asking. My
Yeah.
pleasure.
Of course. Is there anything else that you want to add, or any other?
I guess that I want to continue coming here. I want this to be a part of my lifestyle. I'm going to be 60 next year, and I'm going to be beginning a whole new decade where I want to be getting better, not just, older numerically. I want to be feeling better, doing more, and being consistent. I want to always be consistent and then make even more improvements.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to really start to live better than I have ever lived before. I think that's going to be fantastic.
So I've been under Dr. Osborn's care now for a couple of months, and I'd have to say I've noticed tremendous difference. Me being a person who's experienced a really bad monthly cycle has been able to experience a lot of relief from discomfort of cramps and just everything that's associated with the cycle. And I know it has a lot to do with my adjustments and everything else lining up for me. So I'm very thankful to Dr. Osborn for that.
Okay, so I'm here today to talk about Dr. Osborn and how I met him and my journey and kind of where I'm at today. And I met him 15 years ago, probably coming on to 16, and I was 30. And I was probably just, even though I was 30, I think I was just like a scared little kid. And I was really, he could never adjust my back. It was just like so stiff. I was always like so scared, and so the world was always against me. I mean, the world was a really scary place, and my body, would hold on to everything. And so I met him. Actually, my boyfriend found him for me because I'd moved up here, and I didn't want to come here because he didn't take insurance, but I came anyway. And then the first time we met, I was actually going to see the other doctor that was here, and then I came in and we met, and he adjusted my neck right away and my back adjusted, and it was just like right away we knew that we had like meant to be, that we met each other. And then so over the years, I mean, I think I've gotten younger over the years, having the adjustments all the time, and just having him there for me in my corner. He's always been there. He's a wonderful person. He's the best man on the planet as a person. He's got the biggest heart. I mean, that's just him as a person. That doesn't speak anything about him as a doctor. I mean, he's incredible. He can see inside your body. He knows every day when I come in and I lay on the table, he's like, he gets right at what's wrong. I mean, he's become my friend. He's my confidant. He's my big brother. He's everything. And I've changed my diet now. I mean, I eat right. I know I'm not going to get cancer. I'm 54. And, I mean, just he's my whole world. I love him. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rich Ames, and I'd like to talk a little bit about Doc and what he's done for me. I came to him in June of 1999, and I've been a patient now for about 16 years. When I first came here, I had terrible, terrible back problems, and I'd been dealing with it for many years, and I just didn't know what to do. I was trying to get myself in shape, and the gym I'd gone to had recommended for me to come to see this guy. So I came, and Doc was very brutally honest with me. He said, if you will trust me, he says, I'll fix you, but it was going to take me 3 years to fix you. This is how bad I was in regards to my back and just my overall physical shape. And he did. He fixed me. I mean, it's basically, I always feel now that he really kind of saved my life, simply because of what he was able to do with my body, and how the awareness that he gave me, and how I take better care of myself. And I owe a lot to the care that he gave me. And the really interesting thing about Doc, and he was voted the student of the century at Palmer Chiropractic. And I always tell people, I said, the wonderful thing about him is that as good as he is, he's constantly learning. There were a lot of problems he ran in with me, and he wasn't sure if he was doing going around the right path. But what he did, he said, I'm going to figure out how to fix you. And he's always dedicated to try to get better at his craft, and that continues to this day. And I owe a lot to him. I love the guy, and if you're thinking about having chiropractic care, have an open mind and give him a try, because I think you will do wonders for yourself.
We have started coming to Dr. Osborn's office when we moved to Monterey. We had been under a care of some other chiropractors, especially when I got hurt. And I knew that we were always going to be under a maximized living doctor. So we looked it up and found Dr. Osborn and came out here to see him. and have fallen in love with him and greatly appreciate him, his wisdom, and just respect all that he does for all of us. Mostly, he has helped me to get off a drug that I didn't know that I shouldn't have been on, and even an over-the-counter drug that was poisoning my body. And he has been able to help get my body back into more of an efficient way of operating, and I'm so thankful for him. I greatly appreciate all that he does for us and all the time he spends just helping us to know how to be healthy and how to encourage us. So thank you, Dr. Osborn. We love you, and we thank you for all the time that you put into your office and to us.
Dr. Osborn is a unique man. We've been under several different Maximize Living doctors, but one of the things that I just really appreciate about Dr. Osborn is every time I come in here, he makes a personal contact with me some way, somehow. And it's not just me, it's everybody that walks in the door. And he has a special relationship with each of his patients. And you don't have that with a normal doctor. So, it sounds weird for me to say it. Yes, we do love Dr. Osborn. He's a great man, and we feel honored to be under his care.
All right. My name's Marcus Quincy, and I started here at Discover Chiro a few years ago. And before I came here, I had some pain in my neck and back, and it's been really great to be able to learn all about nutrition, not just how my back can get adjusted to be the right way, but it will help my body heal itself. And now I've been able to lose some weight, eat healthier, feel stronger, and just overall physically a better person.
My name is Blanco, and I've been seeing Dr. Osborn for right about 5 years. And when I came to him, I was walking on a cane with an injured hip. I had severe vertigo that had been going on for years, off and on, shoulder injuries, multiple problems. And 5 years later, down the road, and a couple of serious surgeries later, I am now walking with no cane. I am able to walk even with severe neuropathy. He still keeps me up and mobile, and he can fix my vertigo, severe vertigo, with just one adjustment, puts me back in place. I fear of someday having to move away from this valley and losing him. And it's a motivation almost to try to make me find a way to stay here because he is so amazing and awesome. If you are sick, strung out on drugs like I was to just cope with the pain, you need to see him. He is an amazing doctor. He works on small children and people up to 100 years old. And I have not known anyone that's come here that didn't get helped by him. So don't fear chiropractic. He will put the faith back in your life. Thanks.
All right, I've been coming here for a long time. I love it here, and at the beginning I was in pain, and through all the classes, the exercises, the adjustments, I am a warrior. I'm happy and I'm healthy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joyce. I've been coming to Dr. Osborn for quite a while, and the difference from when I first started till now is my back pain is really improved, and through his example and his attitude, and he is just my life has definitely improved. And I also have this friend that I referred to Dr. Osborn, had been going to a chiropractor for 13 years, and after her first exam she saw a difference in her x-ray she never saw going to the other doctor. And he's the best chiropractor I've ever been to, and I've been to several. And he really wants to get you well and healthy. And I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, and through the diet program through Maximize Living, I've lost 40 pounds. And I I feel I'm trying to work naturally to cure the cancer, and I'm feeling better than I have. I'm in better shape now than I was 6 months ago. All because of Doc's encouragement and inspiration, and of course his adjustments. And he's the best doc you could have. Don't hesitate to come and check him out.
All right, here we have Lois, who came to us about a year ago.
Yes, a year ago.
And so Lois, how did you hear about our office?
Well, a good friend of mine told me, because she was losing so much weight and looking so good. I said, "What are you doing?" And so then she told me, and then I came in, and if only I had known about this years ago. I'm telling you, it's so wonderful not to be on a diet. So then I'm not yo-yo up and down, because before, that's all I did. I would go on a diet, lose a bunch of weight, start eating again, gain that back plus more. Well, now I just eat all the time.
As far as the changes in your body as well, at first, did you think it was just a weight problem, or did you know that you had other things wrong? And as far as your spine, how would you say that the adjustments really tied into being able to make that life change?
Well, I just came from a 3-day convention, and I was sitting for 3 days. I didn't have any problems with my back. My hip was a little tight, but it was nothing like I would have had to get up and walk around, and I just would have been in a lot of pain. And so the adjustments have really helped a lot with my mobility, because I was kind of like stuck in a place, and now I'm, I can move and I'm loose and
you can live.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would you tell to anybody who has heard about our office, or is the number one thing that you would just tell to people?
Try it, you'll like it. You'll be surprised, because I've never been into chiropractic doctors. I was always afraid of it, but it's nothing to be afraid of.
Awesome. High five. We love you, Lois.
My name is Tracy Pickett, and I have been coming to Dr. Osborn's Maximize Your Living for a year and a half. I was first introduced to the program, I believe it was December of 2015. And I was in a walker. I couldn't walk, and a friend of mine suggested that I come to one of the dinners. I came to the dinners, and I really didn't think that I was going to hear anything at all. And he started talking. Dr. Osborn started talking about nutrition. He started talking about toxins. He started talking about medication, about the nervous system, and it just something. I didn't feel pressured. Let me say that I really did not feel pressured, and I thought, well, let me just give it let me give it a try. I was on a lot of medications, and I told him when I came into the office that if this didn't work, it was over with for me. I was done. And that's the truth. I didn't want to live. I really didn't. And so the physical therapist couldn't help me anymore. He told me, I don't know what to do with you, blah, blah, blah. I had some situations happen where I had surgery. Then because of complications, I had to go back in the hospital, which created a lot of scar tissue around my hip. And when I got out, they had given me some medication, and I fell on my back and fractured my back in 3 places. So I was through. I was just, and he said he could help, and that's what happened. And I have been coming again to see Dr. Osborn on a regular basis for a year and a half. I can get up and I can dance now. How's that? I couldn't even do that, And so, that's my little story in a nutshell.
And how about that leg crossing, Tracy?
Yeah, see, I can do this.
And
No
how was that
problem.
before?
I couldn't even do that. And this isn't even the bad hip because of my back. Now I can do this with the bad one. So, I mean, I couldn't even walk. So I went from a walker to a cane, you know, and then pretty soon the cane went. I think one of the most important things for me was the medication.
How many have you come off, Trace?
Huh?
How many have you come off?
How many?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. So I can name them. I was on Metropolo and a bunch of heart palpitation medications and blood pressure medications and no pain pills because I don't believe in taking narcotics. So that was out of the question. Aspirin, gabapentin. I mean, there was just a lot of medication that I was on. And I just walked in one day with all of them and just handed them over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I didn't miss them really.
And Tracy, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned here in your time spent with Maximized Living and Dr. Osborn that you can take away from?
Well, what I can take away is that I learned that the nervous system, I learned about the nervous system. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how the nerves go through the spine, they come out and they connect to each organ.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know that, that they were connected, and there's always some piece. I mean, if I come in here and I go, geez, this is happening, you know, he or you will adjust the adjustment to fit that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I took away, along with the medication. You know, I mean, it's a medicated world.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So, yeah, it's that central nervous system and how that works. That's the biggest thing.
And what would you say to those people who are kind of on the fence about trying it out, or on the fence about, you know, thinking that that there's no hope for them? What would you say to those people?
Well, I would say try it. It can't hurt. I mean, I came in here, I really didn't think that, I mean, I was, you know, I told my kids, I'm done with this. This is it. It's over with. And, you know, and again, like I said earlier, I was not a believer. Let me say that. I was not a believer of chiropractic work. Let me say that, yeah. And since then, I mean, I just spread the word all over the place, you know, and they have a choice. They have a choice to come in and just check it out and see what it's about, you know, or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's their decision. So that's where I'm at with it.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I've been a patient of Dr. Osborn's for a little over a year now. And I'm actually here because my mom twisted my arm to get me here. When I first started, I was having headaches every single day, backaches all the time. I was sick all the time. I had chronic strep throat. I had terrible stomach aches. And I just thought that was normal. I just thought it was unfortunate that, you know, I was going to have stomach aches forever. And just ibuprofen left and right just to maintain the pain. And then one day my mom was telling me that, you know, she started eating organic and she started getting adjusted and was feeling great. And I was like, that's awesome. Good for you. It's not for me. She came home one day and said, Stephanie, Dr. Osborn says that this can help your stomach aches. And I was like, oh, okay. So she brought me in and I filled out my paperwork, and during my exam I was finding that all of these things maybe weren't so normal. And I came back and I saw my x-rays, and that's when it all hit me, and that's when I really saw that everything was controlled by my nervous system, which is protected by my spine. So I started coming in and getting adjusted and not really noticing too many differences until my very first re-exam. And he asked me, so how are your headaches? And I was like, well, they're gone. And how are your stomach aches? I don't have any anymore. And how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm feeling fantastic. And so from that moment on, I decided that I was going to implement every essential, each of the 5 essentials into my life. And because of that, I quit my job at Mercedes after 10 years to come and be here and share this all with you. So it is a journey, but it's worth it, and happy day.
Hi, my name is Celeste. I've been a patient of Dr. Osborn's only about 6 months now. What brought me across this amazing place was actually a crisis. So upon returning back to school my junior year in college, chronic migraines brought me to the emergency room twice. It was frustrating. I wasn't able to function academically. I wasn't able to function socially. I was just taking meds every day for the pain. It got to the point where I couldn't even read a syllabus without it shaking from side to side, and I realized I had to come home. During this time of pain, taking medication every single day, I was told to take it like whenever I had pain, and I had pain every day, so I was taking it like candy. I was on a headache steroid treatment, antidepressant, anti-seizure, and a headache steroid narcotic treatment that I was relying on, being dependent on in order to make a problem that was never going away, yet I continued taking them. Now, after a month of seeing medical doctors back home with no progress, I was at my lowest of my low. I remember the nights when I would hold my Bible on my heart and ask God to make the pain go away. And as I prayed, the pain got worse and worse and worse. So let's just say my faith was really shaken during the beginning of all of this. I came across this place because my dad had brought my sister here for a shoulder injury when she was playing softball, and she had great results. So he told me, let's try it for a migraine, because I've heard great stories about migraines too. I came in here with no expectations, very little hope. The first thing I saw when I walked into this office, besides the smiling workers, was a stone on the floor that said, "Believe in miracles." And I was really caught off guard, because I was like, I'm not expecting anything. I doubt these people can help me. I doubt this place can help me, because I've already been through so many avenues of trying to get help. And then Dr. Arnell takes me into the big idea room, and it truly is a big idea room, let me tell you that. I had my biggest aha moment in my life. He told me, God created this amazing system in you that's meant to create abundance in your life and power everything, all healing and all functioning. And at that point I was like, okay, God, are you here or something? You're trying to tell me something? And from that day forward, ever since then, every adjustment I've had, it's taught me believing in a miracle means believing in myself and believing in my body's power to heal itself. And believe me, it has been a journey. A girl who wants to be back in college and is supposed to be living a college lifestyle, I was really bitter in the beginning about being here. I was just going through the motions and getting adjusted, doing my home care, but not knowing, is this really going to work? And then there came a time when I realized I can't keep going through the motions of being here. I have to grow through them. If I'm not growing here, if I'm not growing in my health, then there's no point to it if I'm not growing spiritually and mentally. So my journey here has been incredible, and has really taught me that transformation doesn't end in one season of your life. Because yes, I do not have chronic migraines anymore, and I get to go back to my college and finish my college education, which is a huge opportunity and such a blessing. But it taught me that my transformation does not end with one migraine issue. This is the beginning of a new journey, and the journey never ends. And it's taught me how to approach health issues in a new way, not to just expect all my healing to come from the outside, but that my power comes from within, and just taking away interference from this powerhouse inside of us. Oh my gosh, no words can describe it, because anything I try to throw in my life now, I know doesn't matter if I'm not experiencing power from within. And this place has taught me that I can create abundance in all areas of my life, on all levels. And all I need to do is know that truth and embrace that truth with the lifestyle I live. So I have discovered the truth that I am worthy of power from within and create anything I want in life. And this place, being here, I've discovered chiropractic. It's been amazing.
I'm Cheryl, and I have been a patient of Dr. Osborn's for almost 3 years now. I actually came to Dr. Osborn kind of out of a weird chance that I'd never expected. I was at a women's event at a mall, and there was a screening, and they said, "When was the last time you had your spine checked?" And I'm like, I don't think I've ever had my spine checked. So I had a mini little scan, and they set me up for an appointment, and I came in and had my x-rays. And when I was thinking about my application for becoming a patient, I was trying to think of what is really bringing me in. I had neck pain for years, and it never really crossed my mind when it started. I just had it. It was just a chronic thing. I was getting headaches a lot. I thought that it was something from when I was in college, that I needed glasses and things like that. But it actually turned out that it was my spine was out of alignment in a big way. I was only in phase 1 in my cervical part of my neck, but it was still so debilitating that I didn't think about it affecting my life the way that it did. I was taking 800, 1,000 milligrams of Advil all the time, and that doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but when you're taking it 4 times a day, that's kind of a lot. And I didn't realize the damage that it was having on my body. So I started my corrective care program, and I think that I didn't really get it until my final exam at the end of my corrective care. And I sat down with Dr. Osborn, and we went over my progress and my x-rays, and it was amazing. Like, I could not believe how awesome my journey had been. And now that I'm in my wellness phase and I work for Dr. Osborn, I still take care of my spine. I am still following the 5 essentials. And there are days that I struggle, and I know those days because my body can tell me, like, hey, you shouldn't have eaten that. So I just encourage everyone to give it a shot. Chiropractic is the answer. I don't know of another way. Your body heals from above, down, inside, and out. You have the healing power inside your body, and it starts with a corrected spine. So.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Sherry here. Super excited to have a very special person that's going to talk to us today about her experience in our office, what led to her coming into chiropractic and her results. I just love Barbara as a patient, and I'm super excited to have a chance to talk to her about her experiences. So I want to introduce you to Barbara, and we're going to talk a little about what she went through. So Barbara, what was the reason that you finally came into a chiropractor?
Besides the pain I was having, my daughters had been coming to a chiropractor for years, and they suggested that I do it, and I did, and I really love them for it.
Awesome. Now you didn't come in immediately, did you?
No.
How long were they asking you to try to come in, try to get you into the office?
Quite a while, but you know, I'm 86, and when you get that age, you get obstinate.
So what did they finally say that made you come in? Because a lot of people have family members kind of in the same spot, and they want them to come in and get the health benefits, but they have a hard time saying something to motivate them. And so
they were worried about me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I was in pain, more pain than I'd ever been in before.
Yeah.
Even having 4 children, it was that bad.
Yeah.
So, and I just couldn't do the things that I had been used to doing. You know, normal things, housework, yard work, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And that pain was starting to slow down quality of life. Is that a reasonable way to say?
Right.
Okay. And then tell me about your experience when you finally did come into our office. What was that like as someone who'd never been to a chiropractor, who didn't necessarily rush right in? What did that feel like when you first came in?
I was nervous about it, but I trusted my girls, and they just really loved coming in, that you did such a great job on them. And so I trust them, and I wanted to start to feel better.
Good. And the experience when you came in, what was that like?
Different.
Yeah? In what way?
Well, just getting up and off the tables.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was painful at first, but it got better as time went on.
Yeah.
And I'm more thankful than anybody will ever know.
Yeah,
for the help.
I remember when you first came in how hard it was to get up and off those tables.
Oh yeah.
I remember the leg cramps as we tried to get you up and down the table, and so over the last, how long has it been now that we've been adjusting you?
Since March, sometime in March, I came in.
Right? And here we are in September, so we're in about 5-6 months out now.
Right.
Right. Now we get on the table with pretty easy. We get off and on. We don't have those leg spasms anymore. Right.
I still rely on you for help,
Yeah.
but I'm just don't want to take a chance.
Yeah. No, you're up and down the table way easier, and it's been fun to watch. Now, a lot of times people have this feeling when they're going to come into the office, it's going to happen immediately. Did it happen immediately?
No.
Or it took time, right?
No, it took time.
Yeah. Over how long did it take until you started noticing the difference?
I would say a couple of months anyway.
Yeah. And it happens kind of gradual, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember the day you came in and said, I think I'm starting to feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting.
And today was a great day. The past week has been a great week. So.
Yeah. I think it's been great because week after week as you're coming in, I'm noticing the comment you keep telling me is, well, I had another good week.
Right.
Yeah. I think the joke I made today on the table is I think you're having more good weeks than I am.
That's what you said. Maybe you should see a chiropractor.
I probably should be more often than I am. All right, well, that is great. I love having you in your office. Another question, what would you tell somebody right now who has a family member who might be in the same spot as you? And because there's a lot of people out there that have that. What would you say that can help convince them to come in and get taken care of?
Just encourage them. Don't force them.
Mm-hmm.
Encourage them and tell them there are people, who have benefited from what you do.
Yeah. Without side effects.
Right.
That's great. Well, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing with me. I hope it helps hundreds of thousands of people, your story, and I hope that's the goal.
Well,
so I love having you in the office.
Well, I love being here, Dr. Sherry. He's my handsome.
Hey everybody, Dr. Sherry here again. I'm with Leslie this time, and I thought it was really important on this video testimonial that we get Barbara's daughter in, because I know there's a lot of families out there, and you have family members who are struggling with health issues, and chiropractic can help them. We know chiropractic can help them, but a lot of times it's just a matter of figuring out how do we introduce them to chiropractic. So I thought it was important to bring in Leslie, because she did a lot of talk to Barbara and helped her mother get in and got such great results. And so I just have I have Leslie here. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. First, I want to ask her, how long have you been getting adjusted?
Probably 6 years.
6 years. She's been a patient. Been great. What made you come into chiropractic?
Broke my back,
Uh-huh.
and then I was having like chronic neck problems. So.
That's right. And who told you about it?
My sister.
Her sister Robin, who we're going to talk a little bit later. And what have been the effects of coming in regularly?
Well, we started out 3 days a week to get on track, and then we were like doing on a weekly thing, and it was great. I mean, I swear by it. I feel like the kind of the poster child for it, because anytime anybody tells me that they're having back pains or this, that, or the other, I said, "Have you been to a chiropractor?"
Yeah.
And it's.
I know you've told me like people at work that you've talked to too. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I remember your first adjustment too, when we adjusted how your eyes lit up.
Yeah.
It was exciting, right?
And a little scary when you hear your neck crack. Yeah. It's not always the most,
Yeah, and by the way, I think Leslie has been extremely consistent. I don't think you really miss hardly ever. You're like clockwork coming in, and the results have been great. Yeah. Okay, so the question I want to ask you about your mom. So we had talked during that time, that 6 years, we talked about your mom a few times. We talked about that Barbara was having pain, and we really wanted her to come in, and I said, let's see how we can do it. Tell me a little about how that worked for you at home. As we were trying to get her in, and she was saying no. What happened?
Whenever I went out or did anything, she was always wincing, and she was always in pain, and that was my biggest, my biggest thing is I didn't want to see her in pain. I didn't want her to be in pain.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
And Robin had tried to get her to come in for probably years, but she wasn't in pain at the time. So eventually she just kind of broke down and realized that it was probably the best thing for her. And so she started coming in.
What do you think, if you look back, again, trying to help other people as far as helping them get their pain, what do you think it was that finally got her to come in?
The pain. I think she didn't want to be in pain anymore.
She finally got to a point.
Yeah, she got to a point.
Right.
Yeah.
And tell me, how does it feel when you see your mom, who you don't want to see in pain, starting to come in finally, having fun, getting better, and moving around?
Where she was 6 months ago is night and day.
Yeah.
She was always in pain. She needed help walking around. She doesn't need help anymore.
Yeah.
She, I think she's she's living a better life. I call her, and whenever I call her, she'll say, "I'm having a good day," or "I had no pain," and that was always the target.
And I think that's even a bigger deal now, knowing with the whole opiate pain
Yeah.
crisis
Yeah.
going on. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that we can do that with no side effects with
Yeah.
her, and
Yeah.
I mean, I see a difference in the
Yeah.
office. Like I
Right.
see her personality different.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Oh
there at
yeah,
home?
absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you getting
Yeah.
her in. I think it's been fun being a part of that
Yeah.
and watching her come in. And a lot of times in life, it's quality of life and your family.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm super excited you guys did that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, we're good to go. Hey everybody, I have Michelle with us here. Thanks very much for coming out, Michelle.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you a question. How did you discover Chiropractic?
Well, I have a good friend, Donna, who also goes here, is a patient here, and Barbara Donaldson from my church. I was asking them to refer me to a chiropractor, and of course, they had so many great things to say about Dr. Osborn. So this was kind of a long journey in a way, because I was in transition from a chiropractor from before, and I took a break from it for a while, just for various reasons, and I just noticed after a period of time I was having like a lot of pain in my neck. I couldn't really turn around, and I couldn't move my neck very well.
Yeah.
So and even at work one day, I was walking down the hall, and I just felt like my balance was so off, that
Yeah.
I just felt like I was going to have to hold on to the wall. And I thought, oh boy, this is, just really not good. This is going too far, So it was like the next day, and we had a ministry, Women of Joy, and Barbara Donaldson was ministering there, and she's my pastor, and so she's where she and Donna come here, and I went up for prayer, and she told me that she was going to talk to Dr. Osborn and tell Donna about it, and so she did that, and next thing I know, I was in the office, and everyone welcomed me here, and he did, and he took a look at my neck, and that bone was definitely out of place, and it just felt like I couldn't really go any further without getting that adjusted. So I got adjusted that day, and I immediately felt like so much better. I mean, just even in one day, it was just great. And so they drew up a plan. I came back and I looked at the program that they set up for me, and I just decided, I just have to do this no matter what. I'm just taking a step of faith, and because I was going to be going like 3 days a week, and I live kind of far away.
How far do you live?
I live in Alamo, so that's like an hour away from here, near Danville and Antioch and all that. So I thought, but it's worth it, because I can really, I just feel what I need to have done, Dr. Osborn was making available for me, financially and every other way. So I just put, thoughts of doubt aside, and just decided, I'm going to go for it. I'll do whatever it takes to get here. And I just trusted what he had told me. I trusted and believed that, as I was obedient and came to do what I needed to do, that I would get better.
Right.
And I really am. I feel so good. My neck feels so much better. And I just overall, I have so much more strength. I can, my days, I can go a lot longer. I'm just happy.
Right.
I notice my endurance with my children and my grandchildren. I can just go and go and go, and it's just like such a joy, and everybody's been like so fun, and it's just such a fun place to be because of the love and the everybody, the joy that everybody has, and and I love doing the surge. That's made me extremely get so much stronger. So I just can't tell you that it's just something I think I'll probably stick with.
Good. And one more thing, what would you tell people who might be out there who have similar complaints or other health complaints who might be apprehensive about coming into a chiropractor?
I would say that I just can't really see myself being without a chiropractor, especially at this age. I just feel as though your what you get out of life is so much more. It's just nicer. It's just everything is more wonderful, just day to day, minute by minute, how you're feeling, your emotions and your, I don't know, I just think it's a wonderful thing to do. I wouldn't really want to be without it because the tiredness that comes from being all the subluxations and all those things, the emotional stress that you have, and you can get just feeling so tired and the weight that life has. I wouldn't want to be without it myself.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing your story.
Okay, thank you.
Hey everybody, Dr. Steve Sherry here again. Today I'm here with Robin, continuing Barbara's story, talking about how we got Barbara, her mother, to come in. Robin's been a patient of mine for years. How long has it been, by the way?
I don't even know. I thought maybe you might be able to tell me.
I'm going to say 10 plus years.
I want to say 10 plus.
Easily,
Yeah.
right? Robin was a massage therapist in my office, actually, and we started adjusting. And how, before we talk about your mom, talk about you. Like, what is your experience with chiropractic as far as what happened to you? What happens as far as talking to other people?
Well, I started having severe sciatica symptoms. So that's when I came back to you and said, help, I need help. So I started seeing you 3 times a week for your 1-year plan, and I haven't looked back since. I went down from 3 times a week to 2 times a week to every other week to once a month.
Yeah.
And it really has helped me a lot. So my mom started having the same problem, and that's when I said, you really should come see Dr. Sherry, and she's like, no, she's really hard-headed. No,
Yes.
she didn't really want to come. But it's helped me a lot. I think all your help makes me able to get out of bed every day. And I went from having backaches, which would take me probably about 2 weeks of a lot of Motrin and ice and carrying a pillow with me constantly, to now, if I have back problems, I can usually go to sleep and wake up the next day and they're gone.
That's a world different than taking things.
Yeah, I don't have to take Motrin. I never take Motrin unless I'm in really serious need. But it's made a world of difference to me. So it would help my mom.
I remember there's a quote in chiropractic that says your children look like you on the outside, but they also look like you on the inside. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking at your back, and then when you started telling me about your mom, I remember being really concerned that maybe she was having some of the same issues, which it turns out she was. So, and I remember you telling me that we wanted to get her in, and I was excited to get her in, but she never quite came in. And I remember you saying, I was asking, and you were trying and trying. And there's a lot of people out there that have that scenario. So what do you think it was that either you said that finally motivated her to come in?
Well, she's had problems on and off, but she finally started having worse problems. They started getting worse. So now she was at a point where she was having pain all day. It wasn't just, used to be if she was on her feet all day, like Christmas Day cooking and getting all that, she would be in a lot of pain at nighttime. But it got to where she would have pain all day long, and it wasn't just on and off temporarily. It was constant, more constant.
Yeah. And so we finally got her in. She does great. How does that feel? It's a I told you so moment in a way, but how does that make you feel as a daughter to know that you and I were like, oh, finally we got her in, and to see the great results? And what do you know difference about that you see different now about her?
Well, just from her having pain all day to her telling me, oh yeah, I feel great. And when I say, how are you doing today? She's like, oh, I'm great. It's no longer, my back hurts. Every day it was my back hurts. Now she's having great days. She's having longer periods where she doesn't have pain. Her progress has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I think it's so great when people do that, when they step up. I think there's a funny comment that says heroes don't always wear capes. And I think a lot of it goes to you, and because I remember you talking to me early on about her, and we kept talking, and I think it's huge that she sits here now doing so great at her age, and I think that has a lot to do with you and Leslie getting involved and being consistent to get her in here.
I was just thrilled. It was all Leslie. She just ignored me. It was all Leslie. It was I don't know what Leslie did to get her in here, but Leslie asks her and she comes in. So I was just thrilled that she took that step, because I kept telling her, I told her all the time that if it weren't for Dr. Sherry, I'm not sure I could get out of bed every day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because my back and my neck are, well, they're better now, but there
Yeah.
were days when, it's hard.
And I had mentioned to Leslie earlier, and I'll mention to you too, especially nowadays, I think it plays even more when you see the opiate crisis and people taking all these drugs for it, and to see how we just did it naturally without taking things. It's such a great thing. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm really excited we got
No,
her in.
thank you. You have no idea how better you make my life. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
You're awesome.
I'm very grateful.
Hey everybody, Dr. Steve Sherry here, and today I'm with two very special people, Robin and Leslie. They are Barbara's daughters, and I want to talk to them because I think a lot of our families have these situations where you have a family member who really wants to come in, and you want them to try chiropractic care, and the person just will not come in. And these two angels never gave up on getting their mom to come in, and I know when they were coming in for years talking about their mother. And they finally got her to come in, and she did great, as you heard earlier on the tape. So I want to take just a minute to talk to the two of them and ask, what were the steps that they did to get them in? So I know that Robin started it, is that right? You started talking to your mom about coming in. And then when you and I talked earlier, you said that it was Leslie who made it happen. So tell me what you did in your experience, and then we'll go to Leslie about what happened. So you started way back.
I started way back when she would complain about her back and her problems. I just consistently said, you really should go see Dr. Sherry. He's going to help you. He's going to make you better. He's made me better, so I think you should go. And I mean, I would just tell her that all the time.
Okay. And what was her response then, in those days?
Silence.
Silence. Okay. Silence.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So so Leslie gets involved. What do you guys think the turning point was where? Because there's other families out there that have the same problems, and I hear it all the time where they're like, I'd love my mom or dad to come in, but they won't. And somehow you guys pulled off what some families don't seem to be able to do. And it's heartbreaking because I know that there's stories like this all over the place and they can't get them in. So what do you think you said that finally got her?
I don't know if it's what I said, but I think she had just gotten to the point where the pain was unbearable. I think I was pretty blunt too. I told her, I said, if this is the way you want to be, that's fine. You can do that.
Right.
Or you can go and do something about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what was that like? That you came with her, I think, the first day.
Oh yeah.
Was she nervous?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Yes, she was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you get to come with her whenever she comes in.
Yeah.
So you've actually, besides me, you've witnessed the transition over the last 5 or 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So tell everybody what that has been like. Not only like to watch her get better, but what is that like as a daughter to know your mom's struggling with pain, and now all of a sudden here she is functioning better, and she's saying I'm doing better. I mean, what
it's
does that
awesome.
feel like?
It's just what I wanted. It was the result that I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Because she was in such pain, and all I wanted her to do was be out of pain.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that.
It's very hard to watch that, but to see her progress. And she was even taking Tylenol. At one point she was taking like 2 in the morning, and because morning was her worst time. 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And then you told her that she should cut down on that. So she was doing like 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And I think right now she's doing 1 a day, which I don't even know if she needs it or not. But look at, that progress alone is
it's been
phenomenal.
really great.
Yeah.
Watching her get off on that table.
Yeah, and just be able to, because she would need somebody's help to kind of walk, and she just didn't have any energy and all. And I think she's got more. She's got a better quality of life.
I don't know about you guys, but I know when she's in the office, I feel like she's got more energy as far as she kind of came out of her shell, right? Like all of a sudden, a lot of times people come in those type of situations, and you don't really see their real personality.
Yeah, because they're in pain.
Yes, because they're struggling, right? And I
Yeah.
think at her point in life is like, is this how it's always going to be? And then over months, again, you were here all the time, and Robin got to see some of it too. You see this transition, and I see a different person in my office now. Would you guys both agree?
Like you said about her getting off, off and on the table, that was always the biggest thing. I was just always afraid, because it hurt her to get on the table.
Yeah.
And now she seems to be able to get on and off. Pretty
You
easily.
remember the yells?
Yes.
Getting on and off the table.
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I think you guys did a great job, and I'm hoping that this video helps other families help people in and do it naturally and not go off drugs on them. So I appreciate you guys. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Dr. Steve Sherry here. Today we have Carol Ann, who's going to be talking about her experience at Discover Chiropractic. She has an absolutely amazing story. I think you're going to love hearing her stories. She was referred into our office. She's done amazing in this process. And she's also referred in other people to our office. And so I'm looking forward to hearing the story as we walk through it. So Caroline, thanks for doing this for us. It's great. So tell me about your experience with chiropractic as far as how did you end up coming into Discover Chiropractic?
Well, my friend Rayanne had told me about the experiences that she had had and what kind of progress she had made and how great she was doing, and recommended that I come in. And it took me a while to volunteer. Came to the dinner with her, heard what Dr. Osborn had to say about what the 5 essentials had to do with and what it could offer me. I signed up, not right away because I was going on vacation, but when I came back, I came in and had my x-rays done and met with Dr. Osborn to interpret them, and they were nothing less than frightening.
Yeah, that's a pretty common story, as you can imagine.
Yes. So what brought me in is that I was walking with an assistive device for about 2.5 years and not getting any better. And I was not going to have surgery. I had back pain for years and years and years, had been on anti-inflammatories, and I had kind of dumbed down my expectations of life, of what I would get joy out of sitting and smelling the ocean instead of walking on the beach.
So I have a question for you. When you say you dumbed down your expectations, do you think as you were going through that, were you aware of that dumbing down? Or do you think you noticed it as you come in and start recovering? Do you start looking back and saying, wow, I was actually surrendering to these symptoms and this health issue?
No, I didn't see any other choice at the time. I was pretty hopeless. So one of the great things that I've gotten out of this experience is that I not only have hope, I know I'm going to walk on the beach.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so at the dinner when you go there, that's the first time we meet Dr. Osborn. That's your first time seeing a chiropractor, right, basically?
I've had chiropractic work in the past in my life for various phases of my back pain. So I had had some experience with it, but not like this.
And what do you think? So having experience with chiropractic in the past, and then you see Dr. Osborn, what's different there in your mind?
Well, the whole more rounded concept of health. The focus is on health, not on my back.
Which is the 5 essentials.
Exactly.
Which go ahead, explain your experience.
I've kept up with the chiropractic work and adjustments. I was going 3 times a week initially, and now I'm at twice a week. So chiropractic and exercise, doing the surge technique instead of the long technique. So I've been doing that every day, and then my home exercise program for my back twice a day.
Great.
And nutrition, I've been following the advanced plan. When I came, I had lost 50 pounds in about a year, and now I'm at 122-pound weight loss.
Oh, that's awesome.
When my first checkup, when we did the first challenge, was after I'd been here about a month. And it was, I had 38.7% body fat. I'm down to 20.6.
Oh, that's great.
So a lot of success with that. The detoxification, I'm continuing to work on trying to get rid of products. And I read labels constantly. It takes me longer doing the marketing, but it's amazing what you see when you read that. And the mindfulness and the positive. I'm working at being positive and giving myself positive messages, and so those are the 5 essentials, and they work.
That's great. Now, one thing I've noticed about you too is you put a lot of effort into coming to the events in this office. You're really what people call plugged in, right?
Yes.
Like you really get a lot out of this office. And how important is being plugged into the office and coming to the events and constantly getting new information? Do you feel is a part of that also?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's critical because I learn something new every time. And it reinforces some other things that maybe I knew but kind of missed, because there's so much information and so much to learn.
Great.
And the sense of community.
Really
people
helps.
Encouraging each other. So I've been participating now. One of my successes is being able to participate in the surge outside. I was really afraid to do that for months. And so now I participate in the surges. And like I said, the sense of community and encouragement and other people here.
Great.
make a big difference.
And you've referred other people in at this point too,
Oh
right?
yes, I tell all my friends about it. When I had my initial picture and my
Your
2 month
follow-up.
picture,
Yeah.
I was going around like a grandma showing off her new baby, grandbaby with, see my pictures, my before and after.
Oh, that's so great.
So I shared that with everybody who would sit down for 2 minutes to listen to me, and referred several of my friends here, and they referred their family members, and they referred their friends. And there was one person who was very resistant and not coming, and she recently started
That's
coming
great.
and brought in another couple people because it does work.
Yeah. And it feels amazing, right? I mean,
amazing.
When you've birthed that many people into a chiropractic office and changed that many lives, I mean, that makes you feel great, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I try and refer my friends and family who don't live in this area.
Yeah.
But there's not enough of you chiropractors out there.
No, we're getting there. We'll keep working on it.
Okay.
So that's awesome. Well, thank you very much for sharing, and I hope we can get that word out to more people.
Thanks. I think it's very important.
Great. Hey everybody, Dr. Sherry here again. Today we've got a great patient here. I love Tamer. Tamer's here to tell his story about how he came to our office and what has happened since he's been here as far as the changes that occurred. So Tamer, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
You've been coming in and under chiropractic care for about how long now?
About a year now.
About a year. So tell me how you ended up coming into our office and then what led you to go into corrective care.
Okay, so I think it started off with my mother. She had major neck and back problems. She had seen a chiropractor many years ago. So I asked around and I got a recommendation. So I brought her in. And then I think my sister and father came in. And then you said you should come in and get yourself checked out. Even though I said I have no symptoms, I'm fine.
Right, I remember that.
So you checked me out and then we discovered that it wasn't as fine as I thought it was. And you had explained that, you know, people who study a lot and focus a lot on academia have issues with their neck, and it's usually bent forward, and I think we uncovered that. And
Yes.
I had some pain in the past, so that all sort of came together and determined that we need to sort of address things. And then I think as part of the transition to the clinic here, we had x-rays and stuff done around the June-ish time frame. I think you saw a spur in my neck, which was really scary. And we noticed that I was out of alignment. I think my right side is higher than my left. And I mean, the x-rays also showed that I was, you know, tilted in some way as well.
That's right.
So all in all, it was a very sobering moment.
Yes.
And that's when we decided we needed some aggressive corrective care to avoid. Yeah, I think my dad has, you know, pretty much full bent back and neck and shoulders. So to avoid the eventuality of heading in that direction. And it's been, for me, it's been eye-opening because I thought that, you know, just regular walking and showing up once a week was enough, but clearly that wasn't. There's been a lot of things that I've changed as a consequence, primarily my posture, as best as I can. It hasn't been easy. I know I've gotten frustrated a lot, and I've come to you, and you've been very supportive because it's very natural to look down. Like when you're writing, when you're cooking, when you're chopping salad. And I remember very clearly you said, which makes it all the more important that however many minutes you get to get your posture straight,
100%.
you have to do it as best as you can. So I've adjusted my car seat. I've adjusted the way I sit at home because I work on the computer the whole day. I've adjusted the way I play video games. I've adjusted the way I sleep. So I'm trying as best as I can to sort of indoctrinate be aware of your posture, keep your phone up high versus looking down at it as best as I can. And I've gotten myself in trouble with the family because I keep reminding everybody, but it's the right thing to do.
And when Tamer came in, we had the neck as he described. And really, after just about 30 to 35 days of being in chiropractic care, the curve change we got on him was really impressive.
Significant,
It was really impressive what he did. And that went into, and I think this is why Tamer's story is so important. There's two things that I really appreciate about Tamer's story. One, he didn't come in with symptoms. He came in knowing that he just wants to be healthy, and I think that is amazing what he's done. But the curve change came because of how he was so consistent with the adjustments. And I believe you did the home care really, really aggressively as far as doing the exercises.
Yes.
And I think that plays a huge part. And I will say, I really appreciate when I see you in the reception area holding your phone up like this. I think when you see that, you see someone who's bought in and you see the results. We just did a scan now and he looks better. And so we're looking forward to a really bright future as opposed to what possibly could have happened as we saw that neck breaking down prior to having symptoms. So.
Yep.
So thank you very much for sharing your story. I hope that
Thank you,
encourages
Dr.
other people to be more proactive and not wait until symptoms show up.
Yes, absolutely. And I have actually met two very inspiring people here. One of them had heart arrhythmia, and he said that he now gets an episode once a week, and it's very minor versus surgery.
That's awesome.
I met a very inspirational lady, and I have to use her name, Faye. She is just awesome.
Yeah.
So it makes a huge difference. It makes. I have to admit, for me personally, I used to think that I was sitting up straight.
Yeah.
And when I look at my posture now versus my posture of where I thought I was straight, it was definitely not straight. I mean, I'm not saying my posture now is perfect.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But it's very different than what I thought was normal previously.
Yeah.
So yes, the difference has definitely been.
There's an awareness
felt.
that's scary, right? When
Yeah.
you hear it and you see it and you realize it's like, wow, how did I come that far?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.